Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weissach, licensed clinical social worker. Thank you so much for joining us, however you may be joining us. We here at HTV appreciate it, and very glad to have back on the program Lawrence DeHart and Spud McConnell, and they spend a great deal of time taking care of what you needed at the Terrebonne Churches United Food Bank. Of course, Lawrence, the executive director, and Spud is their community relations director. Gentlemen, welcome back to the program.
Good to be here.
We appreciate it. You guys do so much, but I don't know that we've ever spent enough time really talking about the impact that you make with your 20 programs that you do through the food bank.
Yeah, most people just look at what we do as far as the mass distributions. We're so much more than that.
Right.
Because one of the things that we've taken a look at is when you just do the mass distribution, it's like shooting a shotgun. But there are some programs out there that if you kind of use a rifle effect and you pinpoint and you go to specifically where the need is in a very specific place, you can actually have a bigger effect. And so that's what we look at. And we have the capabilities of with the new facilities and some of the things that we do to do things we never could before. So we're pinpointing and rifling in on specific needs and dealing with specific problems.
I love it. And we've got a couple of shots here that we want to show about what it is that y'all are really doing in the community. Let's bring up that first shot if you don't mind, guys. So tell us a little bit about this, Lawrence.
That truck we affectionally call the Beast.
Yes,
it is
Beast.
a new acquisition. Chauvin Brothers was kind enough to help us out with it. During the storm, we had problems. That's our other truck, Bertha, and she's a little too tall when you have downed trees and power lines to get out in hurricanes and in different events. So we put out the call that we needed a flatbed, and because when we distributed food to 10 different points, 10 different locations, getting the box truck out there wasn't a good idea or possible. So we did two things. Number one, we now have the flatbed, which will get us out to locations that we can load directly from the side. Then the other problem that we had was most of these areas didn't have a forklift and certainly didn't have facilities to offload pallets.
Right.
And so we obtained, it's called a donkey.
Okay.
It fits back on the back of that truck. And so it is an all-terrain forklift that we will, as soon as the truck is being refurbished by PCM, and they're going to sandblast it and paint it for us, but the donkey will get there, and we can put as many as 8 pallets on the back of that truck with the donkey and offload pallets at a time versus when you had pallets of waters or MREs. Instead of doing one case at a time, we're now able to do an pallet at a time and not just do a couple of hundred or 1,000 pounds of food. We can do thousands of pounds in a location. Also, when there is no storms, it allows us to help in certain situations, give us a backup for Bertha, and get out to that. But it's making a serious commitment.
So never go anywhere without your beast and your donkey.
That is correct.
Okay.
Now that donkey in the back, it costs some $50,000.
Yeah.
So that's part of the commitment we're making to this
Wow.
parish. So
And so you guys had to go and purchase the donkey.
yes.
Wow.
Now, I should say it costs $50. It doesn't necessarily mean that's what
Right,
Kentworth
right.
and Louisiana charged us, but
Right.
they were very generous.
Well,
They helped us, but
yeah.
it wasn't free.
Yeah, well, but again, it talks about, and again, I want to get back to why and how you can provide the services you do because of the partnering that you do and people understanding what the need is. Y'all understand what the need of the people is, and the people that you partner with are really starting to be able to understand how you can provide that as efficiently as possible, right,
That's
Spud?
why Lawrence sat down and just went, you know, he looked at all the different options. He looked at all the problems that we had during the storm.
Right.
And then he went, you know what would fix this is a donkey. And we
Yeah.
were looking for a trailer to put the donkey on to bring it different places. And then, you know, you're driving down the road and you see one of these flatbed trucks with a donkey delivering shingles. He went, oh, that's what we
Yeah,
need.
they're right.
And he found this one, which already had the donkey rack on the back. So it's, you know, it's just a matter of thinking and planning, which we sit down and meet every day for at least a few minutes to figure out how are we going to get the job done tomorrow.
Yeah, what do we do better tomorrow than we did today?
Yeah.
And you guys certainly, we spent a lot of time talking about how you did it through the storm, but I love the fact that you've spent some time figuring out what we need to do differently for the next one. So now there's a flatbed with a donkey on it, so Beast and Donkey are going to make it so much more efficient to get the supplies out that people need in a timely manner.
Absolutely. But getting back to some of the other programs that we deal with is...
We got about a minute and a half in this segment. I can't believe it's almost gone.
Okay. But you said partnering. We partner in with not just, most people think that the food bank is just there for the poor or for the indigent. We actually help, and we work with other programs such as the state of Louisiana. We work with local parish officials. We work with local businesses to get things out. It's not just TCU. So we cherish all these partnerships, and we're sitting here, and we actually even deal with other churches and with
other food banks.
With other food banks, absolutely. We just got into a coalition with the North Shore and Hammond and Lake Charles, and we share information and resources and ideas. And Lake Charles has been valuable to us because it's what they faced, and it actually has even helped us prep for what happened afterwards. So getting equipment like this was, they were a key part of.
And look, it's a really big thing. We've talked about a lot of local officials. We've talked with some of our local legislative representatives, and they have been really spending time. Earlier, and I talked about it in detail, but also with Tanner and with Beryl, a lot of the people that have learned what happened over in Lake Charles and how to do that differently. I love the fact that you're partnering with those people now who are still identifying what to do. And as we're going to find out a little bit later, you guys have done some things that others are taking notice of. Talking about some of your programs, Lawrence, let's jump right into it. Some of the ones that you're really proud of and what y'all do and that you can explain a little bit better about.
We have, like I said, we run some 20 different programs, and I'll let Spud get into details. But we do more than just help people. We work in together, we said earlier, with parish agencies, and one of them, believe it or not, is the parish animal shelter. Mm-hmm. And so there are a lot of animals that have been displaced and lost because fences went down, and there are people that are struggling to provide food and paying, taking money out of your pocket when you barely have enough to feed yourself. To feed an animal has been a problem. So we partnered with them, and we actually do two programs where we come up and we give out dog and cat food as they make it available, and from time to time they get gift cards that they can go ahead and do a little bit more of a long-term thing, and we work with the animal shelter.
Cool.
Yeah, so we're working with the Council on Aging. One of the biggest scary numbers that we have is that some of our seniors are up 75%. From what we've served last year and even the year before.
Wow.
And the rising cost of food and supply chain problems are having a bigger effect on people with fixed incomes. And so we're working with other officials and to see about that. And Council on Aging has been very cooperative in working several different programs with them to try to see specifically earmarking some stuff just for the seniors.
Yeah, really, because there are approximately between 15 and 16,000 seniors in Terrebonne Parish, 65 and above. We feed a third of them.
Wow.
A third of our seniors rely on us to eat every day. So, I mean, that's another one.
5,000 to 6,000 people.
That's huge. And we work with the Haven, and we work through United Way. We have 3 different programs with them. We've tied into 3 other food banks, Lake Shore, like we mentioned before, the North Shore, Hammond, and Lake Charles, but we also have a cooperative endeavor agreement with the Cajun Navy out of Lafayette. So the next time we have a situation here, they are going to come and they will basically run their operation out of the TCU food bank for the 4 parish area, Terrebonne, Lafourche, Assumption, and St. Mary parishes. They will operate right with us. We'll provide office space for them. We'll share our facilities, and we'll be sending the beast out and loading them up. And the Cajun Navy, those are some really good people.
Yes, they are. And they've got such great hearts, and you guys have such great programs. And that's where those two meet, in that you can help provide them and help them be more efficient with helping people that need it.
Yeah.
Spud, let's talk a little bit about getting people back on their feet. I love this new idea and program that you're working with. Let's talk about that.
We met up with this lady in a chamber meeting. Lawrence and I went to the chamber and listened to a meeting. We listened to a lady named Hester Serrano, and she is a parole officer, and she's in charge of re-entering parolees and people back into the system, okay?
Right.
And she told us that one of the worst problems that they have, and one of the things that contributes to recidivism more than anything else, is hunger. That they have people who get out of jail, who are on parole, who frankly you can't think straight and you get scared if you're hungry.
No money.
No money, nothing like that. So
or the money that you have is going to try to get your life back together to get back into society.
So we are
Deposits,
now
those
partnering with her, and we are going to help and start feeding people who are in halfway houses, people who are on parole. But the second part of this program, there's 3 parts to it, but with the third one, we haven't even scratched the surface yet, so I'm going to leave that alone for now.
We'll talk about it later, I promise.
We will be back and talk. The second one is we are going to start providing jobs for people. We are going to bring in parolees into the food bank. We're going to teach them a skill about working in a warehouse, learning how to operate a forklift, learning how to operate pallet jacks, learning how to sort and organize the food to fill the boxes. See what you do in a regular and if they finish a 2-month program, Padna, here's your paycheck, here's your letter saying that you are qualified to work, and you can walk into a good, honest job, and we will still continue to assist you with food while you're still getting back up on your feet.
Wow. And so that, I got to tell you, as a social worker, nothing makes me happier than helping people who really need it, identifying the need, but taking the next step and helping them truly reorient. The best way to help people back into reorient into society, coming out of some of those difficult positions that they were in, is to identify the need and facilitate the need, and then help them prove themselves.
And help them prove themselves and help them get back their dignity.
Right. And there's some specifics about this. It's not for those who are sex offenders. It's not for those who are felony, right?
Not the bad boys.
Right. And but again, we want to make sure that people understand that y'all are keeping yourselves safe and we're keeping others safe, but we're helping people who need the help.
Yes.
And I say we. Y'all are helping the people that need the help.
You help with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I try to do my part. And this is one of these opportunities where I want to tell you, do your part. You can donate at any time. And you just need to know that if you give a can of food, it can feed one person. But if you give $1, it can feed some 6 to 7 people. That's remarkable to me. And so your money matters, especially when it comes to providing the services like you talked about with the donkey and getting that out to other people. Got about a minute left, Spud. Let's talk a little bit about how excited y'all are about the phases of this program and what it's really going to do for people.
I mean, it's limitless possibilities, especially if it works. And it's nowhere else in the state is this happening. So we're doing groundbreaking work here. We've done other groundbreaking work. This guy's done a lot of groundbreaking, and he doesn't know how to use a shovel to save his life.
Right.
But the things that have been improved upon and started and garnered in the Terrebonne Churches United Food Bank is just phenomenal. We are when we get back, he's got something to say that we're all very proud of.
People are taking notice. Let's first talk about what you've been recognized for here in this area. And y'all are up for some pretty big honors.
We don't know if we won, but
it doesn't matter.
There are 3 nominations sitting here to nominate the TCU Food Bank as Small Business of the Year. It's not generally, most people don't think of a nonprofit as a business, but we have all the same issues that every traditional business has, and then some that you guys don't, because if it's not making money, it's not like I can raise prices. So
plus our taxes are much more complicated.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
So it's really good because then people know that how we're running things and how we're doing things at the food bank is the right way. So if you choose to donate or choose to support us, you know that we're doing good business and operating things right. So that's a huge honor for us.
And that's through the Chamber of Commerce,
correct?
Right here in town,
this year, yes,
Terrebonne Parish.
In addition to that, we've been contacted from the University of Texas and the University of West Virginia as part of the National Science Foundation. They have about 3 or 4 PhDs that want to interview us at length and as to what our COVID response was and what our Hurricane Ida response was. They won't tell me who just yet, but there were 3 different either organizations or individuals said the person you want to speak to is here. And so it is an honor that they think enough of what we did and our experience that we brought to this area the last few years that it's noteworthy not only to help not only our community but other communities around the parish and the state and definitely the country to help prepare, help deal with certain situations is because we know what passed us up went into Kentucky and some of the things that they faced, and some of the organizations that we work with, which are national organizations such as Convoy of Hope, and who all they do is emergency response and Samaritan's Purse, and we work closely with them. And they're very kind, and they tell us that it's things that you do there no one else does. So we're going to try to see if we can take some of the wisdom, experience, and knowledge that we learn and what we do and pass it on, because it doesn't do any good just to stay here. And if it can make a difference in the lives of other people around the country, then that's what we're here for.
Well, and that's about modeling. You know, we use it as a psychological term. Modeling is the greatest way for us to share what we do and how it's been done well and have others replicate that. Well, I don't know which is a greater honor, the 3 nominations for Small Business of the Year, or the fact that people want to model what they do after the 20 programs. Quite frankly, I don't know. I think most food banks would look and say, how on earth do you have 20 programs? I think that's probably one of the big questions.
Well, because there's a lot of hungry people. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who were in need. And they were in need before Ida hit, and they were in need before Corona hit. And they're just going to be, there's always going to be need. And there always has to be people like Lawrence, like me, like all the others at the food bank, Cheryl Skinner and Danny Benoit, and all the people who make that place run as efficiently as it does. It's a pretty efficient operation.
I've called it a well-oiled machine more than one time, and even to the people that were kind enough to give some donations, I let them know this money is so worthy because it's being used in such an efficient way that's remarkable.
Yeah.
Nonprofits struggle with that sometimes.
Oh yeah.
You don't.
Well, yeah, we struggle, but it's like we're at
You're
like what, 21%?
Operational expense is less than 21%.
Again.
And that's counting insurance and the gas for these vehicles and payroll and
It's remarkable.
buying boxes.
It's remarkable. And again, I have such pride in being able to talk with you guys and know you, and to really be able to let people know that they can make a difference, and they can come out and volunteer, and they can come and help these people. And the one thing I really like more than anything in your idea of this shotgun effect helps a larger number of people, but it's the rifle effect that allows us to get to the hidden need sometimes, that if you don't look for it, you don't find it.
Right.
yeah.
That's just like anytime people think it's just a hurricane response, but even in freezes and cold weather response, we work with parish officials, and for example, when they put people up in hotels for floods or for freezes, we provide we call them hotel boxes, and that's specifically designed for people in hotel rooms because they don't have an open flame to cook, but yet they still need to eat. And the reason they're in there is because they can't get around. So anytime there's a freeze or inclement weather and they're put up in hotels, we work with the parish, we provide boxes, we deliver them to the hotels, and the people do not have to get out and about. And it's just, again, one of the programs that we sit back and we work with.
Well, we know that we are better prepared now for weather events for that reason. We're also better prepared for whatever next storm, God bless us to not have another one like we have. But we're prepared because you guys are spending the time every day, working every day to not just feed people, but look at the programs that are working and how we could get better at doing those again. And we can't thank you enough. So, Spud, we thank you for what
Thanks.
you're doing.
Thanks
Lawrence,
for
we thank you
having
for what
us.
you're doing. And congratulations on everything that you've been awarded, hopefully, and honored for in people wanting to model after you.
I thought you were saying congratulations for the other announcement.
Oh.
I'm getting married.
Oh, congratulations. I didn't know. And so what better way to end than congratulations on the pending nuptials. And that will do it for this particular segment of Bayou Time. Don't go anywhere. A lot more local programming when we continue.